Do you ever find yourself lying awake at night, replaying conversations in your head, worrying about what you should have said, or planning every possible outcome for tomorrow? If so, you're not alone. Overthinking is one of the most common struggles in modern life. Psychologists call it rumination. Spiritual teachers call it the monkey mind. And if you've experienced it, you know how exhausting it feels. The mind loops endlessly, analyzing, predicting, doubting, and yet, instead of giving you clarity, it drains your peace. But here's the good news: both psychology and spirituality show us ways to break free. Today, we're going to dive deep into why we overthink, what it does to our brain and soul, and most importantly, how to step out of the loop and back into freedom. Why we overthink: psychological roots. Let's start with psychology. Why does overthinking happen in the first place? At its core, overthinking is the brain's attempt to protect us. Our ancestors survived by anticipating danger. What if the predator comes from that direction? What if the tribe rejects me? What if I fail to find food? That same survival instinct still runs in us, but instead of lions or famines, we worry about emails, relationships, and the future. Research shows that overthinking is linked to anxiety and depression. It's fueled by two things. Fear of the unknown: our brain hates uncertainty. Need for control: we believe if we think hard enough, we can avoid mistakes or pain. But here's the paradox: the more we try to control everything through thought, the less control we actually feel. Our thoughts spiral, and clarity fades. Think of the brain as a computer. Overthinking is like having too many tabs open. At some point, the system slows down, not because it's broken, but because it's overloaded. The spiritual perspective. Now let's shift to the spiritual lens. Buddhism, Taoism, Stoicism, even modern mindfulness, all speak of the restless mind. They tell us that the problem isn't thought itself, but our identification with it. In meditation, teachers often say, "You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them." Imagine the mind as a river. Overthinking is like getting swept away by the current, tossed around by every wave. But if you step onto the riverbank, if you become the observer, you see the river flowing without being carried away. Spirituality reveals this simple truth: thoughts are clouds, passing across the sky of awareness. They are not the sky itself. Overthinking is forgetting who we are, the sky. Freedom begins the moment we stop clinging to every cloud. The psychology of rumination. Let's go deeper into psychology. Scientists distinguish between two main types of overthinking. Rumination about the past, replaying regrets, what-ifs, and mistakes. Worry about the future, predicting outcomes, imagining disasters, doubting ourselves. Both have measurable effects. Studies show rumination increases cortisol, the stress hormone. It disrupts sleep, weakens focus, and can even impair the immune system. But here's something fascinating: when neuroscientists scan the brain, they see overthinking linked to the default mode network, the system that activates when we're not focused. This network is where we daydream, reflect, and imagine. It's useful for creativity, but when left unchecked, it becomes a loop of self-doubt and fear. This is why mindfulness meditation reduces overthinking. It quiets the default mode network, pulling us back into the present. Spiritual practices for quieting the mind. So how do we break free? Let's explore spiritual tools that psychology now supports with science. 1. Mindful breathing. The breath is the anchor. When thoughts spiral, bring awareness to your inhale and exhale. Research shows even 2 minutes of focused breathing lowers anxiety. Spiritually, the breath is sacred, it connects body and soul. 2. Witnessing the mind. Instead of fighting thoughts, observe them. Imagine sitting in a theater, watching your thoughts as a movie on screen. You don't have to enter every scene, you just watch. This distance creates freedom. 3. Letting go practice. In Taoism, there's a concept called wu-wei, effortless action. It means letting go of the need to control everything. Psychology echoes this with acceptance and commitment therapy. Instead of resisting thoughts, you allow them, but you don't obey them. 4. Gratitude grounding. Overthinking thrives in scarcity. What if I don't have enough? Gratitude flips the script, I already have enough. Each time you feel stuck in thought, list 3 things you're grateful for. This rewires the brain to shift from fear to abundance. Practical psychology tools. Alongside spiritual practices, psychology offers practical strategies. 1. Set worry time. Schedule 15 minutes a day to think about your worries. Outside that window, gently tell yourself, not now. This trains the brain to contain overthinking. 2. Write it down. Journaling clears the mental clutter. Studies show writing worries reduces their emotional grip. It's like downloading files from a full computer to free space. 3. Action versus analysis. Ask yourself, am I thinking, or am I solving? Overthinking often feels productive but isn't. If you can take action, act. If not, release. 4. Move the body. Exercise breaks thought loops by shifting energy into the body. Even a 5-minute walk interrupts spirals. Psychology calls this embodied cognition. Spirituality calls it reconnecting with life. The deeper truth. Here's the deepest secret, the goal isn't to stop thinking. The mind will always think, it's its nature, just like the heart beats. Freedom comes from changing your relationship to thought. You don't need to suppress or control it, you only need to see it clearly. From psychology we learn, the brain loops because it seeks certainty. From spirituality we learn, certainty is an illusion, and peace comes from surrender. Put together, the truth is this, happiness and freedom don't come from figuring everything out, but from realizing you don't need to. So the next time you catch yourself overthinking, remember, you are not broken, you are human. Your brain is simply trying to protect you. Smile at it, thank it, and then gently return to the present moment. Overthinking is the voice of fear. Presence is the voice of wisdom. When you choose presence, you step into freedom. This is the path where psychology meets spirituality, understanding the restless mind, and remembering the stillness beyond it. So take a deep breath, release the loop, and step back into yourself, the awareness that is vast, calm, and already free.